Hey, this is Ryan from Spyker Workshop, and I'll be showing you how to get your brand new snowblower kit ready for assembly. When you order a kit from me without assembly, you will have to drill holes in almost every part and also clean up some of the support material. So in this I will show you exactly what to do so you can try to avoid screwing up any holes or anything like that. So some of the stuff you'll need to get started is a drill of some kind. Either a cordless drill, a corded one, or even a drill press would work just fine. And then you'll need some type of drill assortment. This one I found uses every size that we need. Here's the drill guide. It is on the back of your instruction manual. And it has a key legend here for what color dot uses what drill bit. And then we'll also need safety glasses, a flathead screwdriver, X-Acto knife, and an assortment of pliers to help clean up the support material. When you get it, it'll have some support material. What support material is when you print something, this is how it would print in the machine. When it tries to print up here, it can't print in the air, so you need to print some type of support underneath so it doesn't have to print basically in thin air. But when you get your kit, I don't remove these when you buy a kit from me, so you'll have to use just simple tools to kind of break it loose here. Sometimes it can be a little tough to, but don't worry about breaking the part. And then some stuff will be left over. You just want to use the knife. Make sure to use your safety glasses when you're using the knife, because the little plastic bits can fly out of there. But you want to just kind of scrape all that stuff out. You can use sandpaper if you want, but I tend to just leave it after I use the knife. Like this is another one. These bits here, they just break off pretty easily. And then where they're left, there might be some stuff in the way. You just want to take the knife, just make sure it's flat, so when you put the screw there, it won't be obstructed in any way. Next we'll work on the auger blades. I'm only showing you a couple of them, but there's 14 total, all very similar cleanup. Basically these little nubs on the end, you can pretty much just rip those off. And then these underneath, I normally take pliers in the largest open position and just kind of squeeze across them like that, and they'll snap off like that. So this one, there's an extra bit of support material on the end. This you can just kind of squeeze like that and just kind of should be able to just twist it off there. And then one other thing you want to clean up is the end of the auger here. You want this kind of sanded smooth. You can either use sandpaper. I'll typically just use the pliers and just kind of spin it around in there. It's enough to round it out enough. In here there's just two pieces that need the support removed. With this you can just kind of snap one end off, and then you should be able to just pull it off. So now we're ready to start drilling all the holes in the parts. The main reason you have to drill holes in these is because when you print stuff, it's better to undersize holes and then drill them out later, because it actually allows the printer to lay down more material to make it like stronger around the hole. If you were to try to print the hole at normal size, the actual material like wouldn't really be as strong as doing it this way. So here's the drill guide. Typically, I mean, you can start however you want, but I normally start with the 1/8 inch drill bit. And I guess we'll start with these ones here. You can follow along on your guide with the color codes. But the most important thing to note when you're drilling these is the holes, they're in there at the right angle. You just have to kind of match that angle. like when you start this part, you wanna imagine the hole going straight through. Like you wouldn't drill it like this. You want it to go straight. It's actually easier to see on this part. Like these 3 holes here, you wouldn't go straight in like this. You want to keep it angled to that curve. Alright, let me start with this one actually, just so you can see that. Like when I start drilling this hole here, from the side view, you want to keep the bit, like don't drill angle like that, you want to keep it straight in like this. And you don't have to go in very deep. Most screws are under 1/2 inch thread engagement. But you'll see the hole's actually already started from the printer. You just kind of have to enlarge it. And don't worry if you go through the part, like on this hole. See the angle I'm doing there also? When you go through, you'll come out the other side, and that's totally fine. Won't matter at all. See, like that one I went through too, but that's kind of how it's supposed to be. Still has plenty of space for the threads in there. So we did, oh, these ones too. I think on this part, almost every hole is the 1/8 inch. Like all these back ones are. So there, you can see on our paper we did all the orange holes there. We still have to switch to 2 other bits, 9/64ths. And this again, just make sure when you drill, you're going in like straight to the surface. Like don't go this way or that way. Keep it, I think it's called the normal direction, like perpendicular to the surface. And then the last bit on this one is the 3/32. You can see on the paper here the top hole here. And when you're doing this, make sure to use the correct drill bit size for each hole. Like it's really important, otherwise your screw basically won't fit, and then you'll have to try to figure out how to make it work, like either getting a larger screw or maybe gluing the hole shut and trying to re-drill it. Let's see, then we'll move on to this one. This one uses the same 3/32 on the top. And I'm not going to show all these parts, I'll just show kind of the most difficult ones that I've had feedback on. By the way, I highly recommend this specific drill. Super lightweight, and I use this when I assemble snowblowers. You can set the torque like really light, so this won't even strip out like even the really small screws on setting 1. I love this thing. So then we'll switch back to the 9/64ths. Sometimes it's kind of difficult to tell where exactly to start the hole. Sometimes you might have better luck by flipping it over and trying from the other side. It just kind of depends on how the print came out. Like if you guys printed your own, or if you got it for me, And then this part is the one with that support material in it, so I always go in from this side. And then, see, it kind of pops it out of there. Next we'll do the side plates here. These ones, every hole is the 1/8 inch one. And these can be a little bit tricky. The bottom hole here goes straight up because the bottom surface is straight, so it would go straight up like that. And then all these other holes kind of follow the angle that they're at. So let me show you here. And these ones you'll probably want to go all the way through. And then there's some holes are like this where you can't see them from one side, so they have to flip it over, and there should be at least some kind of mark on the back to let you know where to start it. Next we'll do the brackets. You might have different brackets depending on what order you got. These ones are for the front mount for the Kyosho Blizzard. But very similar thing here. Just make sure you follow the angle. And then on some holes, well, probably all the holes, after you finish drilling, I typically slow the drill bit down when I'm pulling it back out, because sometimes if you pull it out crooked, it can enlarge the hole, and then it makes it difficult for the screw to actually hang on. Or even if you stop the drill altogether after you go through the hole. Next we'll work on the Traxxas differential support pieces. These ones can be a little tricky. I'll actually use pliers when I do these. Kind of hold them like that. And then this one takes the 1/8 bit. You can see there's a little part right here. Some of the smaller parts are a little hard to hold just with your bare hands. Same thing on this one too. I'll skip ahead here and show you the other holes. This one uses a 5/32. Next I'll show you the chute parts, some of these. These use a smaller 5/64 inch bit. So these are very similar to all the other parts, just a smaller bit. The auger blades need the big 1/4 inch drill bit, and this one I notice sometimes it'll catch on that and rip it out of your hand, so I would recommend using pliers when you do these, just to make sure it doesn't happen. But not very much material will be removed, just any stray plastic that hangs down while it's printing. And then the gear is a little tricky. Sometimes the hole can be hard to see, but on mine there's just a little dot basically. This part is a little tricky. This is the little post that goes on the back of this big part. You'll see on the diagram it shows to use 2 size drill bits like halfway through. So what I do is I'll start with the smallest bit, the 3/32, and drill the 3/32 all the way through. And then switch to the 1/8 inch, and you'll want to go very slow when you drill this. You start the 1/8 inch side on the side that doesn't have that beveled edge there, but you'll want to only drill it like halfway through. So I'll just go very slow, and then spin it backwards to kind of finish it off. And then to check like how deep you actually went, just kind of put your finger on the thing and take it out. Like I should go just a little bit more. Yeah, see, that's about halfway, so that part should be good. But we'll start with the 1/8 inch one. And I'll just show you how to do one of these panels because they're the exact same. So the bottom row here, these ones, you want to follow that angle on this side. This is where that aluminum bar will actually be screwed into. And there's 3 of them on here. And then all the rest of these holes, take the 5/32 one. And these holes can be a little tricky. This helps if you have a drill press to do these. But you can't see them from one side, you gotta flip it over. And on this, you can just barely see the circle. So this helps if you have a drill press with a light. Otherwise, I would recommend doing it into maybe a wooden block if you have a cordless drill, using the big 1/4 inch drill bit. And use a wrench. These parts need to be drilled, well, this one needs to be drilled all the way through. And then this one doesn't need to be drilled all the way through, but just until you can kind of feel it bottom out. Not very far. Same with the other side. 1/8 inch on the ends here. These go all the way through to the other side. So these can be a little tricky. So the most important thing you want to do is, when you're doing the center hole, try to keep it as straight as you can when you go in and then come back out. Any wobble while you're drilling will make the pinion wobble when it's on the motor. So if you have a drill press, I'd recommend using that on these. And then you'll also use the 1/8 inch for the 2 side holes here. So that should be all you need to know to get ready to start building your snowblower. Check out the links down below for my video on actually how to put the thing together. And thanks for watching.